A report this month from an institute in the UK states that the number of obese people in developing countries has reached nearly 1 billion. The study found the number of overweight people has more than tripled since 1980, from 250 million to over 900 million. Much of the weight gain comes from bad eating habits in emerging economies, places where incomes are rising and junk food is more readily available. People are moving into cities for work and exercising less. One of these countries is Mexico, where obesity is such a problem. A tax is being put on sugary soft drinks, and hospitals are offering free surgery for severely overweight patients. Correspondent Frank Contreras met one of those patients and spent time with him as he prepared for a procedure in Mexico City.
27-year-old Eduardo Gallegos has come to this free clinic in Mexico City hoping to transform his life. He says his immense size, 182 kilos, makes his legs hurt, and doctors say he could contract diabetes or heart disease unless he loses weight. Gallegos meets other patients who are struggling with the same issues. One of the toughest parts of being obese, they say, is the effect it has on their psychological health.
Many times I felt lonely, so I would eat. I felt isolated, so food became like a friend for me, and over time that has harmed my health.
Studies show that the life expectancy of obese patients is usually 20 years less than people with ideal weight. Some have a genetic predisposition to becoming obese. Many others, like Eduardo Gallegos, become severely overweight because of their eating habits. He's preparing to undergo a first procedure in which a doctor inserts a rubber balloon-like device into his stomach. Once inflated, it will help curb his voracious appetite.
They told me that in an hour I will go to surgery. This is a change of life for me. My nutrition, everything is going to change.
The moment has come, and Gallegos becomes visibly nervous. The procedure requires no anesthesia, but the doctor has told Gallegos that it might be uncomfortable as the tube travels down his esophagus and deep into his digestive system. Dr. Felipe Martinez says in order to lose weight, Gallegos must be very careful with what he eats in the coming months, and he must hydrate himself regularly. Eduardo jokes that he'll be drinking cold beers.
The entire procedure took 20 minutes. Eduardo Gallegos is now going to rest a few more hours here in the hospital. Then he'll return home where he must take on the next big goal, learning to eat less.
Once patients lose enough weight, they can undergo further surgical procedures with the aim of rebuilding major parts of their digestive systems. These are photographs of patients before undergoing the treatment. Months after their surgeries, the transforming results are plain to see. Dr. Francisco Campos opened this clinic in 2009 when obesity was reaching epidemic levels across Mexico. He's carried out hundreds of these operations.
Remember, obese patients are often rejected in one way or another. Some airlines charge them double the price for seats. Most obese people don't have much of a sex life.
Lázaro Solano and his wife know all about the difficulties that obesity can bring to a family. For him, the problem began about 15 years ago.
My body was completely toxic. It was sending signs of alert. As you can see here on my forehead, there are black spots. It's my pancreas.
Solano says he's fully aware that his family depends on him, so he's determined to lose weight and teach his children how to avoid the kind of bad eating habits that overtook his life.
How did I become obese? A lack of discipline and exercise. It's not genetic. No one in my family is obese. When I was 20, I was an athletic young man. I practiced gymnastics. Then I began to focus on pleasure, and it got out of hand.
While his family gets back to their normal eating habits, Lázaro won't be joining them at the table. Instead, he'll concentrate on drastically changing what he eats and drinks. Mexico's food culture has undergone drastic changes. Now, junk food is widely available, even outside hospitals. Most Mexican diets include fattening corn tortillas and lots of sodas.
Es más fácil conseguir Coca-Cola que leche.
Here, it's easier to get a Coke than it is to get milk or water.
According to the World Health Organization, the average Mexican drinks 163 liters, about 43 gallons of soda every year, which is 40% more than the average U.S. citizen, making Mexico the largest consumer of soft drinks in the world. Fast living has produced a growing appetite for fast food.
Much of it is meat fried in its own grease, or these delicious, sugary soft drinks. The United Nations says Mexico now has the distinction of having the world's most obese population, even surpassing the United States. Nearly 33% of all Mexican adults are obese.
By 2050, obesity is projected to increase across all age groups, and more Mexicans will be obese than overweight. To help deal with the problem, Mexico's legislature placed a new sales tax on sugary soft drinks. Industry lobbyists argue that this will create a black market for sodas. Eduardo Gallegos is back home following his medical procedure. Now, he too faces the challenge of radically changing his eating habits. His mother admits they usually don't eat fresh fruit for breakfast.
We eat eggs with ham, scrambled eggs, hot dogs, chicken.
Still, Eduardo Gallegos appreciates the support he's getting from his family in his effort to change his life.
For example, I can go to school, find another job, travel, things like that that I don't normally do. I think all of that will change.
He knows he must take it one step at a time. With help from the surgeons, he now feels less hungry and expects to drop 60 kilos in the coming months. Meantime, he faces one of the biggest challenges of his life, learning to rethink his relationship with food.